Hello, beautiful bees. I was feeling called today to do a pick a card all about how to get over it. I want to talk about only a little bit what we're getting over. It's going to be different for each and every one of you, and you'll know best what you're getting over. I will be picking up on the energies of what it is, but you will know best the details of that. I really want to focus on how can we get beyond the pain, how can we get beyond this loop of constantly thinking about it, how can we get out of this cycle, and how can we take steps towards whatever's next for you. So in order to do this, I've chosen, well, Spirit has chosen these colors. We have 3 piles here. We have a lot of oracle cards to get through, and I will be picking some tarot cards as well. So take a moment and just take in these colors and see which one calls to you. I will try and bring them closer one by one. This one is a color called Balcony Sunset. It's a very warm, peachy vibe, kind of like the candle. And this one, appropriately called Buzz In. Very bright yellow. And then we have Grape, Hyacinth. Some lavender tones here. So take a moment and see which pile, which color calls to you, and you will find the timestamps in the description, and just go ahead and jump to your reading. Pile number 1, Balcony Sunset. So I haven't quite figured out yet. I've pulled all these oracle cards, but I think we're gonna figure out together how we're gonna piece this together. Your next steps, how to get over whatever it is that is lingering on your soul right now. So let's take a look. I'm gonna try and see if I can fit. I pulled a lot of cards, so I'm gonna try and see if I can fit these all. We have, let me show you, unlock your heart. So immediately I'm feeling there is a need for you to rediscover a certain playfulness in your life. There's a need to open up. It's really hard to open up to people. It takes a lot of strength to open up to other people, but I think sometimes we underestimate how much strength it takes to open up to yourself as well, to fully be honest with yourself, to acknowledge those parts of yourself that you've locked away. And I think there might be something that you've locked away that that you didn't feel like dealing with, and in locking it away, it is still kind of chaining you to it. a look at what else we have. Radical curiosity, seeing as if for the first time, every time. Yeah, there's really this vibe of innocence, how to get over. I think what will help you liberate yourself from whatever pain you're feeling is to reconnect with your inner child and reconnect with old desires and old something that you used to do for fun, something that brought you joy and that you might have set aside because you haven't had time for it anymore. There's so much, and even in this color, there's a feeling of gentleness. There's really this desire to explore, to try something new, to, like I said, pick up something. I'm strongly feeling like there's something that you have set aside in the name of maturity, in the name of adulthood. You didn't have time for it anymore, or it felt like maybe other people were telling you it's not worth your time. I think there's definitely this need to reconnect with something that brings you joy, and perhaps that only brings you joy. It doesn't have to be something that brings you money. It doesn't have to be something that brings you other people. Just joy is enough. And even saying just joy, it's like, it's not just joy. Maybe it is exactly that. Maybe it is reopening the door to joy. Unapologetic. Yeah, I strongly feel that there's something here that somehow didn't fit into your life. And you might be finding yourself in a position where life is a little bit lackluster. And bringing in this curiosity, this playfulness, and just unapologetically having fun with it is going to get you out of your comfort zone and out of this feeling of being in a rut and feeling stuck. We have Priestess. How are you being called to step up and lead? This is, oh, and I just took a glance at the next card already, which is Peace. And I'm seeing there's definitely a correlation here between these two images. This radiance, and look at, like, if this isn't her inner child, I don't know what is. I'm strongly feeling a pull to reconnect with an inner innocence. Despite whatever heaviness you might be trying to leave behind, I think there's such a lightness to you. There's such a desire to be free of... There's such a desire to be free of darkness. And I think that's totally okay. Like, there's this light shining from her solar plexus, and the light that is surrounding her is strongest around her solar plexus. I'm getting another message here about possibly connecting with your inner child via a child. If I think back to our question of how do I get over it, it could be writing the mistakes of your childhood within the possibility of parenting yourself. Unapologetic. I'm feeling like these are cards belong together. Unapologetic, and how are you being called to step up and lead? I'm also getting this message of like being a little bit of childish. Like I feel like there's this judgment that comes with the word childish. Like having a sense of childish curiosity somehow excludes you from being professional or being efficient, which is not true, because there's a lot of children are so intuitive and they learn so much in play, and they discover new ways of doing things in just trying things out. And I think this reading is definitely calling you to have fun with something. There's something that you have your eyes on something, and there's something that you have your eyes on, and there's a lot of power that you hold that you can put into. And again, this could be that you're birthing an actual child, or that you're birthing a creative child, so a creative project of some kind. And these cards are really asking you to have fun with it, not just focus on the structure, but to draw outside the lines a little bit. Supremely free, wild rejoice in jungles, not in cages. This again is asking you to really enjoy and just really relish relish on a full spectrum. And you see all these beautiful colors. Relish something on a full spectrum. I'm kind. I think whatever it is that brought you pain, there's a lot of wisdom that came with it. And sometimes with that wisdom, with the pain, with wisdom that comes from pain, I feel like there is a tendency for us to feel defensive and to feel hardened. And I think a way for you to get over what you're feeling and to release the residue of that is to soften up a little bit and to really let in stillness and to let your mind wander and to you can have authority. I'm getting this again. I got this earlier. Yeah, okay. I just cut the deck and these two came out. You can have authority and wisdom and still remain in a beautifully open and childish state, childish wonder, I want to say. There's still I think that the inner joy of childhood and childish curiosity is really what will feed you and what will help you let go of the last. I feel like you are actually in a pretty good place. Like you know where you're headed, and it really does feel like just sticky residue that is left. And we have 35 here and 53 here, both reduced to an 8, and it just feels like there's this infinite abundance of creation that you will be able to tap into once you unlock your heart and access your I keep saying childish, but I feel like it's the wrong word. It's more of a youthful joy, a youthful curiosity, a youthful anticipation. That point in life where you just really believe anything is possible. I'm going to pull a couple tarot cards and see what else we get on how you can get over whatever pain is bothering you right now. I think you have already made a lot of progress, and you have already accepted your inner divinity, and you have accepted that there needs to be endless surrender to the universe, and that not everything is in your control. I think you're very aware of that. So the next step for you to get over it is to really get over it. Is really to embrace. If you've already accepted that you're not in the driver's seat. Yes, of course you are. You are in control. You have free will. You are in control of your life. But you're not in the driver's seat in terms of the whole universe. You cannot control the universe. You cannot control the people around you. I think that the next step for you is to have fun with it. That is really what I'm seeing. I think you've learned a lot, and there's no need for you to I think you learned a lot about your boundaries. You've learned a lot about who to trust, and you've learned a lot about your own powers. And I think it's to the point that you know you're in your own lane, and you don't have to worry about the people that once hurt you coming after you, because even when they come, you'll know where to set your boundaries, you know where your power lies, you know that they will not be able to hurt you in the same way that they have in the past. So you can meet them with kindness. You don't have to meet them with defensiveness, and you don't have to meet them with anger. You can meet them where you're at, not where they're at. And I think that is really powerful, and that just shows that I think you're a very, very developed person, and I think yeah, I just feel that you've come a really long way. This feels like a very long journey, and you're at a point where I think Spirit just really wants you to have fun with it. They're really proud of you. Yeah. You've really unshackled yourself in a lot of ways, because you know your worth and you know your power, and I think, again, the Empress, extremely fertile, definitely getting a lot of creative juices, whether that is creating the miracle of life or creating the miracle of bringing a project together. Those are both extremely miraculous things, and both extremely powerful displays of strength. And we got the Knight of Cups. And the Knight of Cups is also an offering of emotion. The Knight of Cups is prepared to go out into the world. He has his armor on. He's protected. He knows that you can't trust everyone in the world, but he's still offering an open cup to the world because he's hopeful. At the bottom of the deck we have the Star. So much healing. I really feel that Spirit is, and I have such a big smile on my face, I think Spirit is really proud of you. There's a little baby bird in the tree. That's kind of how they see you. Like, our little baby bird flew out of the nest, and it was really scary, and right before you hit the ground you spread your wings, and it may not have been the most elegant flight in the history of first flights, but you did really well, and you did what you were supposed to do. And I think now comes a time for you to really enjoy where you're headed next without carrying the burdens of past pain. You're so powerful. You're so powerful, and you're so... I'm really proud of you. I'm really proud of you for not giving in to bitterness. You really saw and accepted your own worth when it came down to it. You stepped up, and I think that you will. Let's take a look. How you will be rewarded for this. See? You'll be rewarded by moving on to calmer waters, and you are moving on from that, and you're taking all the things that you've learned with you, and it's like you have a better understanding of yourself. I'm feeling strongly that this might have been, whatever it is that you went through, that this might have been a harsh lesson in adulthood. And Spirit wants you to remember that, yes, that was something that had to be learned, but also that's not all that life is. That you're now on a much better foundation because you gain so much knowledge about how you respond to pain, how you respond to the world. And it puts you in a position where you are more educated on how to move forward and how to create something that that fully represents you and that makes you feel proud to have created it. So I think this was a really nice message from Spirit, saying that you have done a great job in releasing yourself from mental burdens and from pain. You've come super far, and the last step to get over is to unlock that last corner of your heart and to let joy back in and to soften to the world. Because the Empress is the Empress, in comparison to the Emperor especially, the feminine energy that comes with a softness, with a gentleness. There's definitely, and again, I want to refer to the color that you picked. There's so much nurturing energy in this whole spread, but specifically, like there's a softening that wants to occur in order for you to fully release whatever it is that has held you back and hurt you in the past. So I hope that this was helpful. I'm going to leave it here. I think you are doing a great job, and that makes me really happy. Thanks. See you later. Pile 2. Buzzin'. Thank you for joining me. If you chose this beautiful, super bright yellow, this is your pile. We have a lot of oracle cards to get through, so let's get to it. Let's see how you can get over whatever it is that you are trying to get over. Recognize divine timing. So recognizing divine timing goes hand in hand with trust. As you can see, her eyes are blindfolded, and she is jumping over, and it almost looks like she's not going to make it, right? Realistically, it doesn't look like she's going to make it, but she also has these wings that will help her out, so she'll make it. This orange is really giving me sacral chakra, which is just a lot of oomph. So yeah, this card is definitely asking you to trust the divine plan, which is always so easily said and excruciatingly hard to bear. But there's definitely some surrendering that needs to happen in order for you to release some of the pain that you're still carrying with you. Metamorphosis. Ooh, you are in the thick of it, aren't you? Power and strength lie within our surrender to change. Surrender. There, let me get it right there again. Yeah, I can sense that it does feel like you're in the thick of it. You're going through pain, and it can feel very overwhelming and confusing, and like no matter which way you turn, you're bound to get bruised or scratched in another way. Power and strength lie within our surrender to change. And I think definitely the surrender to change. So not as an active verb, but surrendering to change that occurs around you. Secret. That's very mysterious. There might be something that was just recently revealed to you or will be revealed to you, and it has a slightly confusing quality to it, a little bit of a haze. And again, like I said, with this card, it may feel like whichever way you turn, you're getting bumped and bruised, and this can make you feel like whichever way you turn, you cannot see the exit. You're not sure how to get out of it. You're in the thick of it. How can we get out of this? Awakening, energetic upgrades, a new way of being, integration. I think a way to get out of this is if you're going in circles and you can't find the way out, it almost seems like the only way out is up, right? So this card, especially energetic upgrades, a new way of being, integration, this is definitely, this imagery is definitely giving astral projection. So I'm feeling a need to meditate, a need to escape. I'm feeling a strong need to escape your physical reality, and that might not be realistic for everyone, right? Sometimes we're stuck in situations where we don't have a way to escape physically, but mentally, I think there's a call to remove yourself, to uplift yourself, and to kind of disconnect. I don't want to say disassociate, because that can be dangerous too, but there's a need to disconnect from physical pain. Discernment, and look at the fact that her head is like all in the clouds. This is very, I'm feeling strongly that there's like a need for, there's clouds here, there's smoke, she's lifting up, there's a strong need to kind of take a step back from your physical surroundings, from your physical entrapment is the word that's coming to me. And I think there's like really like shimmering kind of rainbow colors up here as well as up here. I think there's a state of bliss that can be found even in your situation right now. I'm feeling physically right now, I'm feeling a lot of heaviness. My body is feeling very heavy and my head is feeling really heavy. So it seems to me that it would take a lot of effort on your part to try and overcome this heaviness. I just took a look at the next card. It says space out. One's destination is never a place, but always a new way of seeing things. I love how these cards just come together. This is beautiful. And again, like shimmering colors. This card specifically is calling for a change in perspective. Again, that is so easily said. You can't just tell someone like, okay, just change your perspective. Done. Cool. Thanks. I think it takes real effort. It takes a lot of time to yourself and time to, exactly like this says, space out. Spend some time in the clouds, spend some time dreaming. Specifically, this imagery is also telling me to pay attention to your dreams. If you have a hard time remembering your dreams, then perhaps you want to try dream journaling. Really focus on your sleep. If you are in a position where you feel physically stuck somewhere, sleep can be a nice escape. And I say can because it can also become dangerous. You know, sometimes when we're in a depressive episode, we sleep a little bit too much. We escape to our dream realities, and that can be dangerous when we don't follow through with action after. We might get a lot of inspiration from dreams, and then we just kind of want to stay in that realm and don't actually follow through with action. And that is a possibility, but that's not for us to worry about right now, because right now we're worried about the next step. I do feel a strong sense that you have a strong desire to get to a better place, and I'm feeling this because you picked this very bold yellow, and yet there's a lot of pain here. There is hope, no matter how small it might feel to you. You have a lot of hope that you can overcome the setbacks that you have been dealt, and I absolutely believe that you are right. It's just going to take, I'm seeing just a really big focus on meditation, on stillness, and focusing on your dreams. And I think there might be something revealed to you in your dreams as well that could really elevate you to the next level of healing. So it almost feels like, to me that you're eager to be better. You're eager to overcome whatever it is that's holding you down, weighing you down, holding you back. But I think perhaps you're so eager that it's like you want to skip to, like, I mean, who wouldn't want to skip to the end where we're done healing, right? Unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. So we have to surrender to the fact that sometimes we aren't in control of our environment. Sometimes we aren't in control of the waves of pain that overcome us. But what we are in control of is the way we receive those waves. Let's take a look at your last card. I am humble. I think that this card really speaks to the first two cards that we got in terms of surrendering. And also, like I said, I feel strongly that you have this desire to, maybe it typically is easier for you to get over things, and you're feeling a little bit confused that this pain that you're experiencing is still lingering. And when really you feel like usually the something like this wouldn't affect me like this. But I think honoring pain can also help you overcome it. Because it occurred for a reason. And if you don't honor the pain, if you don't process it correctly, you'll just be met with it at a later point in time. So, acting kind of tough and like there's not really a problem there can really kind of keep you stuck in that situation longer than you need to be. I'm going to pull some tarot cards and see what else we can get in terms for you, how you can get over this situation that is still lingering, whether it is physically or it might be mentally. In any case, there is definitely a strong sense of hurt. How can we get over this? Ten of Cups at the bottom of the deck, followed by the Ten of Swords. The Ace of Cups is really a strong symbol of love and self-love and recognizing the love around you. And I think that there is a need for you to accept the love that the universe is trying to offer you. And I think that it's really difficult to see that sometimes because you can't see it physically. I do think there's definitely a shift that needs to happen from your physical perception to your spiritual perception. The universe is offering you love and acceptance, but you seem to be having a hard time seeing it. And that's because it's not physically visible. And that's why this reading is asking you to step out of the physical to lean more into the spiritual so that you can experience this love that is around you. Yeah, again, there are things that you're not seeing. It's like you're so close, you're sensing them. It's like you can sense it, and yet it's like you're not trusting it. It feels like, well, there's no physical evidence, so how can I trust that it is real? And this is asking you, Spirit is asking you to trust. It's really asking you to trust a lot, which is difficult to do, not easily done. Right now, this card is also giving me, like, not everything is meant to hurt you. Not everything is out to get you, and sometimes things happen and they had to happen a certain way, and I'm feeling called to say this, and I apologize because I don't think it sounds very nice, but sometimes people get hurt as collateral. And it could be that was the case, and that's awful. It is awful, but at the same time, I think it might be good to hear, because it's not like the universe was out to get you, you know. I also have the Four of Coins. And relating this back on how to get over, I'm feeling a sense of this. The Four of Coins is a king that holds on strongly to his material possessions. And again, we're talking about the physical. And I think that there's such a pull for you to release the constraints of your physical realm and open yourself up to the spiritual. Yeah, because the physical is holding you back, and in the spiritual you're limitless. And it will be this step into the arena of limitlessness. I don't know if that's a word. That step into that new arena that you might not be comfortable with yet is what's going to take you to the next level. That is what's going to take you to the next step of healing. Yeah. This reading is really calling you to kind of relax on your physical constraints and really tap into your own mind and trust your own mind and open yourself up to spiritual envisionment. That is a weird word. That just came to me, but I was trying to go tap into your spiritual I don't know, that's what they wanted me to say, envisionment. So yeah, maybe, and also because the magician is obviously a manifestation symbol, so really try and, if you're feeling stuck in the pain, instead of kind of running in circles, reliving that pain, that trauma, that which I can feel is still very fresh, but try to kind of, when you're in that cycle, try to find an exit route and focus on something. Just dream, just imagine like what would be your ideal life. If there is a person or a situation that hurt you, try and remove your mental state from that person or situation and think ahead, think bigger, think about, fantasize the smallest to the biggest details about what would be your ideal life. What is your ideal life? And then what does it feel like? And bit by bit, you'll get closer to it. And it'll feel more real every time you think about it. Okay, I'm gonna leave it there. I really hope that this was helpful, and I do want to say that you're headed in the right direction, because you have this deep desire to move forward, and you can see it here. Look at this is why you chose the yellow, because you know that you have the ability to, I mean, that was a perfect match. You have this ability to move forward. I think you're just struggling with the steps in between. So I hope that this was helpful. I'm so grateful to be on this journey with you, and thanks for tuning in. Hi, Group 3. If you chose this beautiful Grape Hyacinth, and this is your reading, let's take a look. This is definitely like a nice lavender color, which feels very calming. Let's take a look. We have a lot of oracle cards to get through. Assimilate life experience. So the question that we're focusing on today is how to get over it. Whether that is a painful memory, and that's what I'm getting strongly here. This feels like a memory. A painful situation, a person that hurt you, anything like that. How do we get over that? Assimilate life experience. I'm feeling strongly that there are some lessons that you have learned, and Spirit is asking you to apply the knowledge that you have gained. Misalignment. Miracles become normal once we face all of the aspects of our life in the same direction. Misalignment. So right off the bat with these two cards, I'm feeling like a pressure in my stomach. But right off the bat with these two cards, I'm feeling like there's a painful, I'm sensing a painful memory that we might have a hard time facing. That is, of course, never fun. But if it's holding you back from moving forward, and take a look at how these two characters are heading in this direction, and she has her eyes closed but also is facing in this direction. There's this feeling, definitely feeling like a replaying of a memory, a constant replaying. It might even be subconscious. It might be within your dreams that the situation keeps popping up. And it also kind of feels like at this point in time, it might be like you've replayed it so many times that it doesn't even feel accurate anymore. Like it's become a caricature of the situation itself. Don't let it in. Yeah, this definitely feels like a haunting memory, and I'm so sorry that you're being haunted by this memory, because it makes us feel powerless when we get sucked in by negative memories. And look at how she's being almost like cradled by this darkness. And that's another thing. Sometimes, we feel, especially when it's something that we've dealt with for a long time, it can almost feel comforting, which is kind of sad. Dark memories can become comforting because it's something that we know, something that we're used to. How to get over, unbound, releasing soul patterns, contracts, and past lives. Oof, this feels heavy. It feels heavy because it does feel like, again, like I said, it could be a past, like a memory, but for this card to say past lives, it could be a contract a soul contract that you had with someone from a past life, and like these heavy emotions linger because it was such a strong tie and such a really thick cord connecting you to this experience or this person. And it can just feel like it's impossible to break. And even when it's broken, it's like the ends are still there, and like, you know, that they're just, you can see they're frayed in the same way, and they just kind of belong together. It's pretty heavy. I'm gonna take a look at the next card, the Path. There is this sense of, like this card says, soul contracts. There is definitely this sense of, this is unfortunately, and this is tough to say, but it does seem, unfortunately, that this is something that your soul signed up for at some point. That this was something to take you to an elevated perspective eventually. But of course, that doesn't mean that it's easy. There is this sense of I feel like you had to turn someone away from you to protect yourself, and that was really difficult to do. But nobody else was going to protect yourself, and then you found yourself alone. It might have been somebody who was wearing a mask, somebody who made you feel safe, and you realized that they, in fact, were not keeping you safe. And so you had to step up and make sure you ensured your own safety. And feeling in a place of confusion of who you can trust really leaves you vulnerable to this darkness, because it's like, well, then maybe I should just rely on myself. And that darkness, like I said, becomes such a close friend. Hello, darkness, my old friend, I just heard. And it's true, like you really like become, I just got goosebumps. You become so comforted by the fact that you're alone, because then at least when you feel like you can't trust anyone, then at least you know what I mean. Which that's not what trust is about anyway. Trust is not about knowing. Trusting is literally about having faith in other people. But when that faith gets tarnished, it can leave you very alone. In terms of how to get over, I think there's a clear path of, you've made friends with this darkness, and now it's time to release it. It's time to release it, because the darkness, and if you take a look at this card, there's also a lot of darkness down here, and there's this ladder which looks really kind of janky. It's going to take her some trust in this ladder to get up to this other perspective, this other light. So there's this request for you, and look at the lavender color is picking up here. That's beautiful. There's this request for you to accept what has happened, accept the impact it has had on you. Don't feel bad for feeling sad. Don't feel bad for losing faith in people. Focus on, and the lavender is here too, a focus on yourself and your own sanity. Release those contracts that played out the way they were supposed to, and then focus on the steps ahead. Next card out is Reach Higher, which fits beautifully, of course. I'm not surprised. This must be the place. It says, the greater danger for most of us lies not in setting our aim too high and falling short, but in setting our aim too low and achieving our mark. And that's a quote by Michelangelo. And again, we see this lavender. And this lavender is slowly turning into pink, which is bringing back this innocence. And I feel strongly that you know, I don't enjoy saying some of these things because I have been on the same path and I have been through that pain that happened for a reason, and it doesn't make it any easier that it happened for a reason. You get to a point at some time where you're like, you look back and it's like, yeah, I can appreciate, I can accept that it happened because it had to happen, because it had to push me. But that never makes it any more fun, does it? But it does feel like you were in a position at some point where you had to turn away from something that was not good to you, and that took a lot of effort and a lot of strength, and that's exactly what you were supposed to do, and you did it. And so I'm really proud of you for doing that, because there was this instinct that you had that told you there is something higher, there's more. These ladies are floating up high. She's trying to rise up. This must be the place, up in the clouds. Like there's this instinctive feeling that there is more. And you're absolutely right, there is more. And because there is more, this is your confirmation that there is more for you out there. It's okay to release those memories. They don't make you. You've learned your lessons and you can hold on to those lessons, but this memory does not make you. I'm gonna take a look. So these next cards are some advice cards, and the other two groups actually only got one each, and there are two that came out for you. So let's take a look. I create harmony, and I do good. Notice the lavender. I create harmony and I do good. I think this is really beautiful because it speaks to don't let the darkness in. Create your own harmony and do good despite what has been done to you. There's a higher, I do feel that there's a higher purpose that you have been shaken up to discover, and there is there's a knowledge that cannot be translated into words that you have gained from your pain. Let me take a look at her. There is a knowledge about the human existence that you have endured, and it has shown you how not to treat other people, which is a tough way to learn, but I also want to point out that this is going through her throat chakra, and I'm feeling very, very constricted in my throat chakra right now. Like and because as I was channeling, I was saying there's a knowledge that cannot be put into words. I think that is definitely I definitely feel that there is a lot of emotional stirrings within you that you struggle expressing. And I just want you to know that you're not alone. You're absolutely not alone with these feelings and the inability to express them. But it can feel so overwhelming because it feels like there's some pressure to release it. It wants to come out. And so I'm feeling called to tell you that you might want to try and write about your feelings. You might want to try and create some music. You might want to, write some songs or just any kind of creative outlet. I think could be really helpful, not just to you, but to other people as well. I'm going to pull some tarot cards and see what else comes out in terms of advice on how to get over it. Wow, these cards came out really fast for you. So in terms of how to get over it, I think there is a need to accept the law of the universe and to accept that it is out of our control how the universe is ruled. There is, I'm feeling with the Two of Cups that there's a need for you to express how you feel to someone else. And again, I understand that that is really difficult to do. Going back to the throat chakra here, we see the water and the star. I think expressing your emotions, whether it is creatively or with a partner, with a friend or a therapist, will really help you kind of release some of this old baggage, letting it out of your head. A lot of times there are things that will linger in our mind, and it's not until we say them out loud that we realize how insignificant they actually are, because we're saying it out loud to another person, and it's like, okay, I get now that my ego was just trying to tell me this story and I just accepted it. But saying it out loud to you is helping me realize that it sounds kind of silly. I also feel with this Justice card that what will help you get over it is creating your own justice. Not waiting for the universe to step in and rectify whatever happened, whatever injustice you felt you've experienced, but creating your own justice by finding a way to gain from the situation. And that, again, I'm feeling strongly. I'm feeling that this is connected somehow to creating something that can transmute this darkness into harmony creatively. And I'm definitely getting strong music vibes. If you create music, I think that will definitely help you and help others heal so much. I want to get one more for you. Oh, look, they gave us two. Yeah, I think really taking control of your mental, I don't know why, but I'm feeling called to say mental facilities. Taking control of where your mind goes and taking control of where you let your mind wander will give you stability. Focusing on your creative pursuits is going to make you feel in control of your thoughts. Letting it out will allow you, once you let it out, this big dark figure is going to shrink. The more you let it out, the more you create, it's going to become so small. And honestly, it will probably never go away, but it's going to be so small that you can just put it in your pocket and just flick it when you're not in the mood for it. I'm also getting, like I said, I am strongly feeling like there's a higher purpose to what you went through, and it feels like you are meant to share the things that you have faced with the world, because it too will resonate with people and it will help people. This is also giving me crown chakra vibes, so it's like connecting to a collective pain is what I'm feeling here. Connecting and tapping into a collective pain, even though you feel so alone in it. I guarantee you are not the only one that has felt this, and it will help a lot of people if you can find the courage to open up about it. And I know that's a lot of pressure, and I don't want to put this pressure on you, but it looks like Spirit has chosen to do that, and it looks like you have accepted. So I'm really proud of you. I would also like to tell you that, again, you're not alone, and I would like to give you a big old hug. And I'm not big on hugs. But I'm really thankful for you tuning in today, and I'm going to leave it here. I'm grateful to be on this journey with you, and I wish you all the best. Thanks for tuning in.